Good evening. I'd like to begin this evening's events by welcoming each of you to the Golden Cavalier celebration. I know this is not how you pictured this celebration taking place or how you envision any of your senior year playing out. In many ways, you've been robbed of one of life's signature moments. Hanging out with all your senior friends in the hallways, laughing, talking about what comes next, making beach plans, sharing the day's gossip. Getting ready for your senior prom, senior skip day, even though you guys got an entire spring, and going through graduation practice, senior week, and all of its activities leading up to graduation. I also missed out on one of the perks of my job as well, and that's getting to meet with you individually and congratulating you on being named a Golden Cavalier. You're here because of your accomplishments as a student of Carroll County Public Schools. You're the ones that went above and beyond everyone's expectations. You excelled in your coursework, took all the dual credit options at your disposal, you traveled back and forth from the governor's school, you took online AP courses, everything that you needed to do. Earning the title of Golden Cavalier makes you a part of an elite group of young adults who set the academic standards for future generations of Carroll County Public School students. Again, I know this is not what you expected or hoped for. However, I hope it at least provides the opportunity to be recognized for your achievements, to celebrate with your parents, and to say thank you to a teacher that's made a difference in your life. Congratulations on your recognition as a Golden Cavalier, and Godspeed to you on the rest of your journey. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves recognition. Because of your efforts as a student, you got placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you as a student and a person. Congratulations on this honor. First we have Miss Megan Culbra, who is the daughter of David and Cindy Culbra. Megan.
First of all, I would like to personally thank every single individual in this room for coming together during these unprecedented times to honor those of us who have strived to get to where we are today and help us feel appreciated this evening. Now, I can only speak for myself, but I hope that I can incorporate the other seniors here tonight with saying that the level of appreciation that we feel in this very moment is astronomical. The fact that everyone here has come together as a single unit to provide us seniors with a special night is something that I will personally cherish for the rest of my life, and I thank all of you. Now for the man himself, Dr. Randall Webb. Never mind with that. I'm going to keep this speech pretty simple because that's the kind of man that he is. When I first walked into his veterinary science classroom, I thought, oh Lord, what did I get myself into? Little did I know that would actually be the only class in my schedule that I enjoyed going to. However, that was not the class in which I found my passion. The thing is, that class actually crushed my dreams. Because from day one, I saw myself becoming a veterinarian. And after a semester in there, I figured out that lifestyle was not really for me. Well then, at the end of the semester, Randy kept bugging me about joining this class called biotechnology. And I never really knew what biotechnology was, or how that would help me, or how it related to anything that I wanted to study in a higher institution. It got to the point where I just signed up to the course to make him happy. Well, come to find out that was the single best decision that I've made about my academic future thus far. Now that does not particularly mean that I enjoyed every single second in that class, by any stretch of the imagination. Randy definitely did not cut me any slack. Did he answer my questions 90% of the time? Absolutely not. But does that mean that he's a bad teacher? No, not at all. I mean, yes, he probably got annoyed with me playing 100 questions with him over and over again. But however, he would not answer my questions, and not because he was a bad teacher or that he didn't want me to learn. He didn't answer my questions because he wanted me to grow as a student. I got so frustrated at times trying to find the answers, but little did I know that I was learning so much more in the process. I recall one specific instance, right before school let out due to COVID, when I asked Randy a question regarding our research project. which we have been working on very hard up to that point. Well, what did he do? He said, Megan, I'll be right back. And he came back all right, but with a huge textbook. Sat it right down in front of me, said, your answer is in that book. In that moment, I got so frustrated because I wanted to understand why he wouldn't just tell me the answer. But looking back now, he was just teaching me a valuable lesson. Randy was trying to get me to understand that every time I ask a question, which I do quite often, that life isn't going to deliver the answer to me on a silver platter. Now that was just one example of the many times that Randy has taught me a valuable life lesson. I will take each and every lesson, the good with the bad, with me to ETSU this fall, and I'm confident that it will help me excel in my academics. Carroll County High School is honored to have such a versatile instructor who is not only the instructor of multiple different courses, but he also has a passion for each and every single one that he teaches. I know firsthand. Not many teachers I know spend multiple hours upon multiple more hours writing and publishing research articles to gain more knowledge in their field, and then sharing that knowledge with their current students. Randy, on behalf of all of our students, we thank you for your hard work and dedication in this school district, and know that it does not go unnoticed or underappreciated. Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and thank you. I don't get to sit down?
Megan, come up here.
Do that.
I think as a teacher, this award that is given by the top 10 seniors at Carroll County High School is no doubt the greatest award a teacher can receive. The qualifications for this award is not based on a rubric or any application. It comes from the student, and that's what makes it so priceless. The qualifier for this award is based on the impact each teacher has made on these exceptional students in their academic journey. As a teacher, we find ourselves question our pedagogy. We question ourselves by asking, are we reaching our students? Are we getting the content that we want to enrich their educational experience to them? Are we delivering it in such a way that challenges them to excel in a beneficial and lasting way that will contribute to their life in the future? Many times these questions are left unanswered, but it's times like these tonight that makes what we do worth doing. For the past 2 years, I've been fortunate to have Megan in my classes. During this time, I've gotten to know her and her family. Now, as a teacher, when you say that you've gotten to know the student's family, there's usually an underlying issue that has warranted the communication, right? You know my cooler? But seriously, David and Cindy, I know Megan is such an exceptional student for one reason. It's because she has exceptional parents who support her and guide her in anything she chooses to do. Over the past 2 years, I've watched her leadership in and outside the classroom, whether bridging group work in the class, supporting or pushing her teammates on the soccer field or in the swimming pool. I have no doubt that Megan will succeed when she moves on to Tennessee in the fall. Her work ethics, personality, and drive will take her far, very far. I am humbled tonight to receive this award, and I wish you the best that life has to offer. May God continue to bless you and keep you in all you choose to accomplish in your life.
Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves reception. Because of your efforts as a student, Peyton, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you as a student and as a person. Congratulations on this honor. So Peyton, if you'll make your way to the podium here, get your speech.
Mr. Mitchell, it has been a true honor and a pleasure to learn from and assist you past 2 years. I have never encountered another teacher such as yourself. The level of commitment you show to your students is extraordinary and unrivaled. So many times I have witnessed you go out of your way to check on students that appear to be struggling outside of class or just not having the best day. You have always paid an unprecedented amount of attention to your students' behavior. However, when you were to help them, you always did so in a discreet way so that they were not embarrassed and felt as if they were in a safe environment. It is not only your care that makes your class amazing, but also the atmosphere you create. Your class was never a boring one and always felt so lively no matter what the material for the day was. This was largely thanks to the passion and diligence that you teach with. Your love for chemistry and science in general added a level of engagement that is unseen in most other classes. Your preparation was always above and beyond, and even in the most unforeseen circumstances, you always knew how to reorganize the class so that your students would not feel any extra pressure, but could still learn all of the material effectively. Your dedication to your students sets a very high standard for what teaching should be, and every student that has had an opportunity to learn from you is a truly lucky individual. The school system should be incredibly grateful to have a teacher like you. I just want to conclude by saying thank you for all of the knowledge that you have shared with me over these past 2 years, and for preparing my peers and I for the college level courses we will soon face, as well as life in general.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry. I'll let you hold this. Mr. Mitchell? Stand aside.
Where's your stage? It's a very humbling thing to sit there and listen to somebody like Paige say those kinds of things about you. You know, I got an invitation last week, but they don't tell the teachers who's giving you a award. So I've been waiting and wondering for a week which friend I might see. And, so we kind of missed out on a couple of cool things this semester. And we sure did do a whole lot between it and then. I guess one of the highlights, and we went to elementary schools and took chemistry to hundreds and hundreds of little elementary school kids. That was really special. And you're going to do good things when you leave here. You've got a great future ahead of you. And I hope that you achieve all the goals you've got set. Maybe you come back here and carry them out. You know, be a member. It'd be great to have you back. Thank you. That was special. We would shake hands or something, but I got an email from a student earlier in the spring, after school had ended. And in my class, when you take a chemistry test and you make an A on that test, for years, when I handed back the test, I would shake your hand. This is a big deal. You get an A on one of my tests, you get a handshake. And then 7 or 8 years ago, I handed back the test, reached my hand out, the kid sneezed in his hand and grabbed my hand. And that was the end of the handshakes. So from then on, when you got an A in my class, you got an elbow bump. I've been ahead of my time for 8 years. Appreciate you coming tonight.
Hey, what do you plan to do after graduation?
I'm going to UVA to study politics, probably for undergrad, and then go to law school.
Awesome.
And you're successful at all.
Peyton, you're correct. We are very proud to have Mr. Mitchell as one of our teachers. He's brought as many accolades to this school division as any teacher I've ever known. We are very fortunate to have him. And good luck to you in your future. And I'm sorry that, we didn't get to carry this out like we normally would, but we feel like these kids deserve some type of recognition.
I think that effort's not lost. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I think the tradition continues. Yeah, it looks a little different, but it was worth the effort. So thank you, guys.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves recognition. Because of your efforts as a student, Abby, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you as a student and as a person. Congratulations on this honor. If you would come forward, and Abby is the daughter of Brandy and Brandy Camphor.
all for coming today. You all have had an enormous impact on my academic and athletic career. However, today we are here to honor someone who has been one of my biggest supporters. She's an extremely hard worker and is the most generous person I know. When she isn't teaching trigonometry, you'll find her in the gymnasium. She's known for organizing our stellar bingo fundraisers and giving out treat bags on the bus to away games to surprise us. She never fails to make sure every player feels welcome. She's responsible for fundraising thousands of dollars over the years that supplied my team with shoes, jerseys, warm-ups, and meals. Her overwhelming desire to help others is one of the many reasons I look up to her. Her passion for sports and education is only intensified over time. She never misses a game and has without a doubt earned her title of head of basketball operations. She has kept the scorebook for as long as I can remember and is one of the best basketball scouting detectives I have met. Her warm, comforting presence always helped ease my nerves on game days. I was honored to be her intern during my last semester of high school, and I would have traded those class periods for the world. She's taught me the importance of helping others and to never give up in the face of difficulty. My senior year has definitely not gone as expected, but she is one of the people who have made it bearable. And for that, Ms. Whitaker, I want to say thank you for all you've done for me.
You have to stay right there. Come on up, Sam. If you'd like that, of course. We'll step over to the side there.
I would like to thank Brad and Pam for letting Abigail be part of my life. From the time I saw her when she was 7 years old in her pigtails, she took a very special place in my heart. And I will never forget all the times we've been together. She was more than a student. She's more than a player to me. She's like a child I never had. And for that, I'm grateful.
Hold on right there. Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves recognition. Because of your efforts as a student, Cassie, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you as a student and as a person. Congratulations on this honor. And if you would, please come to the podium. Just give your talk.
Mr. Sumner, aka Sumner Man. I first walked into your classroom as the shy girl who went straight to the back of the room. I kept to myself, participating very little in class discussions. I completed my classwork to the best of my ability. I never asked for help because I was scared to come out of my safe shell that had protected me up to that point. I still turned in all my projects on time, but was afraid they were never good enough. Throughout your series of classes, I began to come out of my safe shell to the point to where I never stopped talking. Thanks to you, Mr. Sumner, I will never forget that a glue gun is hot and to keep a watch on the male gender that sometimes lacks brain cells. I learned that messing up was part of being human and finding a solution was part of being an engineer. You taught me how to have confidence in myself and in what I do. You taught me to stand up for myself and to believe in myself as I go into a field ruled by men. As you have seen in class, I'm no longer scared to stand up for what I believe is right and that I will not go down without a fight. I'm going to miss your class greatly. There was never a dull moment there. We were always getting into new projects and trying to let you get us to do stuff that was sometimes frowned upon, and sometimes even led to come to Jesus meetings, which I'm going to miss dearly. Not only are you one of my favorite teachers, but you have been a positive role model for me. I would not be where I am today or where I'm going to be in the future without you. I'm sad we did not get to finish the third part of your class, but I will take what you have taught me about engineering and about life with me as I go throughout my journey. Thank you, Mr. Sumner, and I will miss having you as a teacher.
Cassie, could you stay right there? Mr. Sumner?
Thank you. That's tough to follow right there. To say that this is probably a high point in my career would be an understatement. It's probably one of the most cherished things that I've received during my professional career.
And to get to share a moment like this with such a special young lady as this it's pretty rare. She is probably one of the finest young ladies I've ever met in my life. And I'm proud to be a part of this moment with you, and I look forward to seeing what you do in the future. Thank you very much. You guys just stay back there.
We're sorry that things had to happen like this, you know.
Out of our control, yeah.
We appreciate the effort to do what you've done.
Yes, very nice.
And Cassie, I hear you're gonna be a Hokie?
Yes.
All
Yes,
right.
tell us what. Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves reception. Because of your efforts, Molly, as a student, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you not only as a student, but as a person. And congratulations to you on this honor. If you will, please come forward. She is the daughter of Jonathan and Jennifer Griffin.
The summer before my junior year, I remember dreading having to take chemistry. I was worried that the class would be boring or confusing and that I would just not get it. I remember thinking that if I could just get an A, then I would be happy with myself. However, standing here today, I can say that all of those thoughts and feelings were absolutely wrong after 3 semesters with Mr. Mitchell. As the weeks flew by during the first semester of my junior year, I found that I didn't just like chemistry class, it had become my favorite class that I had. Although this wasn't just because of chemistry, but instead because of Mr. Mitchell. Every day, he would make a point to go around the classroom and spend a few minutes talking to every student to make sure they were not just doing well in his class, but also in every aspect of their lives. Never before had I had a teacher that tried so hard to ensure the well-being of the students. Throughout my time in his class, it soon became a safe space for me. I knew that if I had a problem, that it would evade me during my time in chemistry class. In chemistry class, I found a teacher that not only helped me score well on practice sheets and tests, but also one that helped me with my future. In so many ways, Mr. Mitchell ensured that his students knew the most about their options after high school. Through his speeches about his experiences in college, I was able to have a better understanding of my future that no other teacher nor counselor had given me before. He even dedicated an entire day for his students to learn about college, and he would bring in past students to discuss their experiences. With these actions, Mr. Mitchell really cemented in me the drive and knowledge needed to pursue higher education. I want to truly thank him for helping me be accepted into UVA by writing me such an amazing recommendation letter. I've been given so much advice and assistance by him that has not only helped me pick a university that matches me, but also a career pathway that interests me. In addition to the attention that Mr. Mitchell spent on his students, he also was able to teach complicated things in a way that was understandable. In high school, many teachers and students say that chemistry is the hardest course. However, I never felt like there were any challenges that I couldn't overcome in his class, especially with the guidance of Mr. Mitchell. Anytime that I had a question in class, Mr. Mitchell found a way to help me master the material. There were many times that he would help me rework a problem, multiple ways to ensure that his students fully grasped the topic. Before taking his class, I had never had a teacher that encouraged his students to learn through doing. My first real science labs were in his class, where he would guide me towards the right answer without doing the work for me. Through his teaching style, I was able to get the most from his class, as I learned the material firsthand without an instructor telling me it was right or wrong. I really appreciate all the time and effort that Mr. Mitchell put forth in his class because it has impacted me immensely in my academics. I can say that I feel confident going to college because of all of the skills and materials that I learned in his class. After 2 semesters in his class, I was so excited to be his intern. I would say without a doubt that being Mr. Mitchell's intern has given me so much knowledge that I know will impact me in college. By his trust in me as his lab assistant, I was able to learn about some more advanced aspects of chemistry, especially chemistry labs, that I know will aid me in my college classes. I truly appreciate all of the times and internship that he let me try a new experiment, like converting silver back to silver oxide, or assisting him in igniting nitrocellulose. These experiences will always stay with me as some of the best times of my internship and of my senior year. I not only learned more about chemistry as his intern, I also was able to improve my leadership abilities. Throughout the months as Mr. Mitchell's intern, I felt much more confident about my future at college. I feel that through his guidance and internship, I'll be able to take a much more confident role and attitude in my classes in the fall at UVA. The time that I spent as Mr. Mitchell's intern will carry with me throughout my time in college. When I look back on my time in high school, I know that some of my most valuable memories are because of Mr. Mitchell. I gained the confidence to join Science Mac because of Mr. Mitchell's guidance and teaching. The day that I joined Science Mac was when I received 120 on my gas laws test. Because of the confidence that he had in me, I finally felt like I was prepared enough to join the MAC team. In addition to this, my favorite academic memory of high school was getting the Chemistry Excellency Award because of how much chemistry class meant to me. Overall, I know that Mr. Mitchell is truly the teacher that inspired me to pursue a career in the sciences. If I had never taken his class, I probably would be standing here without a clue in what my career aspirations are. In the years following high school, I am confident that I will look back and know that Mr. Mitchell is the one teacher that has impacted me the most.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of nice words. It is a humbling thing to hear somebody that you work for say those things, and I feel that way truly. I mean, I work with these people, but I work for the students, and to have somebody that you work for stand up and say things like that, it's just an amazing and humbling thing. We did a lot of chemistry. I hope you'll come back to College Day as a college person. We had College Day all set up for this year. It's just one of the things that didn't happen before. See, this is the end of my 23rd year of teaching, so for 21 years, previous students have come back to my class in the spring who I taught at high school and now we're in college. They come back and they talk to my students about what college is really like. Not chemistry, just what college is like. I only invited students the first year. After that, they email, call, can I come to College Day? Can I? And now it's about them. It will be about you next year. So one of the things we did is we took chemistry to the kids. Okay.
Fun.
We visited elementary schools and did lots of experiments and explosions. It's just it was a good time. I enjoyed getting to know you. We talked about being able to reach your goals, but you'll always be able to do that. You're all going to be challenged because that's the kind of person you are. But you'll figure out a way to be successful. Just I'm certain of it. And if UVA is the right place for you, so I'll tell you folks, I've told them before, but for years when you got an A on one of my chemistry tests, I would shake your hand, hand back the test and shake your hand, you get an A on my test, that's a pretty big deal. And 7 or 8 years ago, I handed back the test and reached out, and the kid sneezed on his hand and he grabbed my hand. And that was the end of handshakes, and from that point on, you get an A, we started bumping elbows. I was 8 years ahead of things. So we're not going to shake hands, we'll bump elbows.
Excuse me.
Congratulations, Mom.
Good evening to the Montgomery family. Welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves reception. Because of your efforts, Abby, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you not only as a student, but as a person. Congratulations on this honor. And if you would, make your way to the podium.
So dear Ms. Reese, this is definitely not the traditional ceremony that I always hoped for, but I'm very, very lucky and blessed for this. but I have always wanted to honor the teacher that has inspired me the most in front of her fellow colleagues and my classmates. However, I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to honor my teacher in front of my parents, and I'm so blessed for you all to meet. School has always revolved around taking the highest level classes and making straight A's and having a 4.0 GPA or above. I never really thought about school as a place to learn. It was more of a competition to see who could have the highest GPA. And if I'm being honest, I never thought I'd be in the top 10, because at the end of my junior year, I was number 32, so that's a little low. My sophomore year, it came time for me to take Spanish 2 and 3, and I was kind of super upset about it because Spanish was a 4.0 class, and it would bring down my GPA, and I thought to myself, this is seriously going to drop my GPA, and I'm not happy about it. But I got over it, and I took the class, and after I got over the grade, I was actually excited because I love Spanish. Spanish is like, I just love it. And I had this teacher, Miss Reese, that everyone had said so many good things about, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of excited. So a week into class, it slowly became my favorite class of the day. My mom can attest that I would come home every day and talk about you and like how amazing the class was and just how awesome you were. Not because I was making straight A's or doing well, but despite that. Every day I would walk in and you would always have a smile on your face, which in return would put the biggest smile on my face. You always had the warmest energy every day and made every single student feel welcome and honestly actually liked by their teacher. You made me feel like an individual instead of just another student, and for that I will be forever thankful. You were not only my Spanish teacher, but you were the teacher that inspired my decision to go into education. I will strive to treat every one of my students with the respect that you always gave me. I will always try to make each one of my students feel like an individual because I realize just how much that can affect a person's life. If I am even half the teacher that you are, I will count myself very lucky. You were blessed with the gift of teaching. You never had to learn these skills, you were given these skills. I had the privilege of learning from you, one of the most unique teachers I have ever had. I was able to listen to your personal insights into the teaching profession, and I am so grateful that I had the opportunity to gain skills to become a teacher from you. In Teacher Cadet, I was able to watch you express your passion for teaching. The words that came from your mouth when you talked about teachers were so profound and inspiring. I would gain more respect for you each time you would talk about how much you loved your career. I would always gain more want to go into education each time I entered your classroom. Each day, I would leave more inspired. It was so refreshing to see a teacher with such a passion about education. You will forever be appreciated.
Ms. Reese?
I'm very humbled and honored. Thank you so much, Abby. This job, it's not a job. It's a place that I love to come to each day. And the kids, I call you kids, but you're young adults that I get to work with. It's a privilege. And I'm very blessed that I've been able to do this long. And you have always come in with a positive attitude and a smile on your face with a willingness to work and just an enthusiasm. And that was a joy to see each day. That helps when teachers see that in kids. It helps us keep going. But I have enjoyed working with you all these years. And the promise I see in you, the future is going to be so bright with you teaching and sharing that smile and that energy and that love and the music that you're going to bring into their lives. I'm so excited, Abby. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Stay right there.
What are you gonna teach?
I want to teach first grade.
All right.
I love that grade. It's my favorite.
Remember where your home county is.
Yep, hopefully. Thank you.
Okay. I do. Do you want to get a
Don't
picture?
get a picture.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'll just send it to you.
Thank you.
Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves reception. Because of your efforts, Kaylee, as a student, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you as a student and as a person. Congratulations on this honor. So Kaylee, if you'll please come up to the podium.
Hi everybody. Obviously this is not how I envisioned this moment, but I'm very thankful that everyone's been so supportive and encouraging during this time. And I'm very glad that I still get to participate in this Golden Cavaliers celebration despite the current situation. Thank you for working hard to find this time for us to celebrate. I've always strived to do my best academically in hopes that I would one day be part of the Golden Cavaliers. I remember being a freshman on the varsity soccer team, and many of the senior players had to leave early for this celebration. I then had a desire to be part of it in the future. With this goal in mind, since my freshman year, I decided who I wanted to bring with me if I achieved it, and there was no contest. I've had the privilege of having 3 years to learn from this wonderful teacher. I took 2 years of Spanish and 1 year learning how to follow in her footsteps as a teacher. Year to year, I have always looked forward to having her classes. She inspired my love for foreign language, which I will be pursuing in college, and I did not realize how much I enjoyed Spanish until I took Spanish 3 my sophomore year. I learned about different cultures and problems that those in other parts of the world may be facing that I've not thought about before. I became especially interested in a certain topic, and I don't even think she knows how far I took this out of the classroom. I ended up researching more about the Venezuelan crisis that was occurring, and it became the topic of a lot of my speeches that I had in other classes. She inspires ideas within her students and cultivates their minds so they can go on to form ideas and opinions on her own, and that's her goal. She finds new and creative ways to engage her students. I specifically remember March Madness happening last year, not the typical March Madness that you may think it is, but we learned different songs of Hispanic background, and we voted on them throughout the semester until we got a final winner. And something else I don't think she knows is that I learned every word to 2 of those songs, Loca and Yagase too, and I taught them to Ashlyn, my little sister. She went above and beyond to provide students with endless opportunities that will aid them throughout their entire life. She worked hard last year to provide her Spanish 4 class with the opportunity to earn the seal of biliteracy, and I'm so grateful that I was given this opportunity. It pushed me beyond my comfort zone and increased my confidence in my language abilities, none of which would have been possible without Ms. Reese. In addition to this passion for language, I've always had a strong desire to work with youth. I express this by helping in Bible schools in the summer, babysitting, or volunteering at children's carnivals or festivals throughout the semester whenever it's needed, but I knew that there was a different path that I was meant to follow. I decided to take Teacher Cadet this year to see if this passion could be harnessed into teaching. I sat in the class for 2 minutes and I knew that this is exactly where I was meant to be. On the first day of the semester, my classmates and I were instructed to create a list of characteristics that made a great teacher, and Ms. Reese was the inspiration for mine. It included the characteristics: passionate, hardworking, caring, kind, and engaged. I modeled nearly all of my assignments after her example. One of the most important things she taught me in this class is that the main goal of a teacher is not to teach content, but to value the child as a whole. If you can't understand or reach a child's mind, then you can't teach them a subject. All throughout the semester, Ms. Reese would surprise us with different things. We had Keurig Day frequently, where we were allowed to fix our own drink and have a muffin, and we also had juice, which was good for me because I'm kind of picky and not too fond of coffee. I also remember her surprising us with donuts at different times. These simple gestures showed us that she was thinking about us beyond the classroom. She is completely invested in her students and wants to do the best she can to show us that we are worth being taught. I remember a specific moment that stuck with me since it happened. One day in my Spanish 4, my junior year, she brought her stool to the front of the room and sat down. She told us about her childhood and her years in school. She told us about the trying experiences that she encountered, and she told us that if we ever need anything, that she is always somebody we can come to. And she truly meant this. I've come to her for advice on my career path, for help with scholarships, and sometimes I would just pop in because I needed a cheer. She told us that we are loved and valuable, and she instills these truths in all of her students each year. When one walks into her classroom, it's nearly impossible to frown, although if you do, she'll greet you with a smile and make sure to brighten your day. Her kind words and actions have and will always stick with me. She is one of the wisest people I've ever met, and she truly practices what she teaches. One of my main drives to become a teacher is to be that person that students can trust. Some children don't have support systems like I do, but I believe that every child deserves to be loved and encouraged, and Ms. Reese is the perfect example of this philosophy, and I hope that I can apply what she's taught me to my future career. Thank you, Ms. Reese, for always encouraging me, supporting my ideas, and being so passionate about what you do.
Thank you. Thank you for the all. Please say, Ms. Reese.
Okay, it's so hard not to. I'm just very blessed and very honored and very humbled. Caleb, you are very special young lady. You have raised a wonderful daughter, and she has so much to offer this world. She has so much talent, and your dedication and your drive and your smile are going to make a difference in the lives of kids. I will never feel expressed to you with words and to you. And I thank you for your father and heart. You ever need me, you know you can always me. And you're going to be a great asset. I hope you come back to our family and share your talent and love with these kids.
It's very evident that Miss Reese has been doing a good job, because both the students that recognized her are both going to be teachers. That's great. Best recruiting tool we've got.
And Katie, tell everybody what you're gonna do after you leave.
Next year I'm going to go to Bluefield and play soccer, and I'm going to major in math and Spanish, and hopefully become a teacher just like Miss Reese, and come back to teach here. So.
Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves reception. Because of your efforts as a student, Evie, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you as a student and as a person, and congratulations on this honor. So what we'll do is ask you to come to the podium and give your speech.
In my 13 years as a student, I have had many, many teachers, starting in pre-K and continuing all the way up to my senior year in subjects like math, science, English, art, and chorus. Despite the many very talented teachers I have encountered, none have had the impact on me as a student that Miss Ogle has. As a junior in her composition class, I experienced the greatest loss of my life. I was met with kindness, patience, and understanding from Miss Ogle. I was able to express myself through writing, a skill that I've learned is timelessly therapeutic with endless possibilities to impact others. As a senior in her literature class, I learned how to discuss with others, how to voice my opinion, and how to articulate myself. This was all due to the tremendous effort Miss Ogle expends in creating a safe and unique environment for students. She always welcomes novel thoughts and ideas. Every perspective is valuable and appreciated. As an intern my final semester of my senior year, my appreciation for Miss Ogle's work grew as I saw the sheer amount of time she had put into grading and lesson planning. Every class, Miss Ogle used her time to concentrate on students, either giving lectures or having discussions. This left little time to grade essays or plan for her classes during school hours. Every semester, I saw her genuine enthusiasm for teaching and her love of learning. Her excitement made class interesting. After years of teaching the same topics from the same subject, her lectures were still entertaining. I decided one day after a discussion in her class that I wanted that passion in my own life. I wanted to spark inspiration in others. I wanted a constant pursuit of knowledge. I wanted to challenge my own ways of thinking. I realized a passion that was within me to learn, think, and write. Miss Ogle has the most interesting classroom environment, one that is fair, structured, but also open and without pressure. Her class, A Survey on British Literature, made me question many of my key values relating to spirituality, faith, and morality. She did this not through simply testing knowledge of books, but by expanding students' perspective. She is a professional with clear enthusiasm for her line of work, but also a person with an empathetic heart for her students. She is truly a role model and a great asset to the staff here at CCHS. She has inspired me, and surely among many others, as an amazing teacher.
One more.
Okay. This young lady is amazing. Eden has the biggest heart and is the most compassionate person that I have ever seen. She has such integrity, and I just can't even begin to say what this small frame encompasses. I mean, she is just a powerhouse of a student, cares about others, in the midst of her hardest time, she showed compassion for others and helped other people and was thoughtful. Just the most amazing young lady I've ever seen. I told her once that God did not bless me with daughters. He gave me sons, but if he had given me a daughter, I would have wanted one just like her. She is an awesome young lady, and you all have done a wonderful job with this young lady. I do want to say that as an intern, I could not have made it without her in my classroom. She was there to do everything that I asked her to do and more. She took things on without me having to ask. She has such initiative, and saw something that needed doing and just did it. And not only that, after we went online, she emailed me and asked me if there was anything more that she could do to help me. That's how kind and thoughtful that she is. And she says that I have inspired her, but I will tell you, her enthusiasm for the literature, for the class, for just thinking and wanting to learn more inspires me. Every single day that I get up, it inspires me to want to do more, to reach people and to be able to have the same kind of conversations that we have had together about books and literature and those kinds of things. She's a great young lady. You're welcome. I wish I could Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Eden, what are your plans?
I plan to major in psychology. I'm going to UVA, and I hope to teach at a college level.
Awesome.
You all want to come with me? Yeah, I'll let you decide. You will have your camera. Good evening and welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves reception. Because of your efforts as a student, Meredith, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you not only as a student, but as a person. And congratulations on this honor. So if you would, come forward, stand behind the podium.
The woman, the myth, and the legend, Coach Lyons. I mean, really, someone put this woman in the Hall of Fame. It was junior year when I met her. The varsity cheerleading team was in dire need of a coach in the midst of football season, and rumors were floating around that Coach Lyons was going to make her return. I was sitting in Fred Mitchell's chemistry classroom one day when the intercom came on and directed all varsity cheerleaders to the office. Mr. Mitchell reluctantly let me leave, and all of the team met downstairs, wondering why we were called down. In the conference room, we were introduced to our new cheerleading coach, Coach Lyons. We were all excited and a little scared. This was the beginning of the greatest chapter of my life, and I had no idea. Flash forward to our first home football game under Coach Lyons' direction, homecoming. Now, when past cheerleaders talk about Coach Lyons, it's no joke. This woman made us do a million jumps right before our game, and I'm thinking to myself, this woman's gonna kill us. Jokes aside, I look back on this night frequently and smile. It was the beginning of something beautiful. She pushed us. She really pushed us. She cared, and she made sure we knew she cared about us too. She urged us to condition and try new stunts, try different types of jumps, and learning material. She pushed us to do well academically. She emphasized the importance of keeping our grades high. She checked on us through power school and often offered help to those who were struggling. She pushed us to be better people, and she made me want to be a better person too. She pushed us to be the one who sat with the new student at lunch. She pushed us to create relationships with our teachers, and she encouraged us to love one another. It wasn't a team, we were a family, and we loved each other. In the summer of 2019, I fulfilled my cheerleading dream of becoming an All-American cheerleader. This past December, my mother and I were able to fly to London, England for a week, and I received the honor of performing in the 2019 London New Year's Day Parade. This trip was a dream come true, all because of Coach Lyons. She helped organize all the paperwork, create fundraisers for me, and took the time out of her evenings to drive me around the county to local businesses to ask for donations, which she calls begging. There's no way I could have organized this by myself. Coach Lyons, thank you for helping me get across the pond.
Coach Lantis filled the role of my coach, second mother, mentor, role model, and friend in my life. She is one of those people you can never forget. When my daughter is trying out for her high school cheerleading team one day, I will tell her all about Coach Lantis.
Brian, come on.
Sweet. Well, Meriden here is not just Meriden. I've nicknamed her Marvelous Meriden, Magnificent Meriden. I mean, she is top-notch young lady. You all have done a fantastic job raising her. I feel blessed and honored to have gotten to know you. I know that you're going to do great at Virginia Tech and throughout your life. You are the kind of kid I wish I would have had as a parent. I don't have any children of mine, but I hope that I can adopt you forever. But I'm truly honored and blessed to have you in my life. Thank you very much.
All right, stay right there. Marilyn, would you tell everybody what you're going to be doing?
I'm going to major in human nutrition, foods, and exercise at Virginia Tech in the fall.
You hear that, Miss Lyons, Virginia Tech.
I know, that's the only drawback, but there's a lot of hope.
Glad you all came today. Welcome to the 2020 Golden Calves reception. Because of your efforts as a student, Taylor, you have placed in the top 10 of your class. We appreciate you not only as a student, but as a person, and congratulations on this honor. And Taylor is the daughter of Thomas and Rita Lewis. Taylor, if you'll come on.
The purpose of the speech was to demonstrate an event that inspired me and caused me to look up to you. However, there are too many events to count that inspired me, and too many times I saw myself looking to you for guidance to nail one down. I can remember my first year attending governor's school, coming very close to December and not having a project, and feeling like I failed before I really started. As we got closer to due dates, I was genuinely worried I'd have to drop out of governor's school. I was worried I disappointed you. But instead of reprimanding me, you helped me find a project that I could work on and help me through all the steps that I had issues with. You helped me come up with a topic, helped me build a research paper, and helped me find the confidence I needed to know that I could get through science fair. You never came short with me for falling behind, and were always there to help me see through any issue that came up. When my data came back inconclusive, you helped me build my discussion and result around that. This year, when I was having so much trouble in my classes, you helped me through it. You helped me find new and effective ways to study, and if you felt you couldn't, you helped me find someone who could. I never had to worry about the dreaded line, you should have studied more, when I talked to you. Even the small things in class, like when you would answer any questions I had or humor the ridiculous scenarios I'd come up with. The patience you showed me when the odd experiment made me queasy, or when I had trouble seeing the obvious answer on a homework sheet. You never treated me like I was just another child in a long line of students that passed through, but as a person worth talking to and getting to know. You encouraged me to think outside the box and helped me when I would overthink the small things. You encouraged me to find ways to use my creativity in learning and helped me improve in both aspects in ways I never knew possible. I could always count on you when I needed help. I'm so glad that I attended the Southwest Virginia Governor's School and got to know all the teachers there. Most of all, I'm glad I got to know you and to work with you in class. The experience was fun, inspiring, and will stay with me for the rest of my life. Thank you, Ms. Phillips.
Philip? As you would say a few words.
Oh, sure. Well, I'll just say that I always thought that Taylor was extremely creative and talented, and it was really like my pleasure, like you said, to get to know you. I thought you had really cool interest in anime, and I can remember, like, I guess it would probably been like the first month of your junior year, I was like staying late on a Friday night grading a whole bunch of stuff, and you had turned in a super creative project where you did like 4 levels of curriculum structure, and you had your drawings, they were just amazing, and so I emailed you that night, and I was like, oh, this is so cool, I was really enjoying grading your stuff, and looking forward to seeing more of your work. And then I also say, like, Taylor is always super receptive to like suggestions and feedback. So when you're working on your project and you're a little bit down in the dumps, remember when we talked about maybe you could do like kind of like the design of a chocolate bar, and you could do like one side kind of dark chocolate and one milk chocolate, since it was about taste and chocolate. Remember that from genetics? So Taylor was always like super receptive to feedback, and I enjoyed your questions. A lot of other people won't ask questions even if they have like a burning curiosity, so I always appreciated that you were willing to ask. And Taylor's super organized, because one time, and I won't forget this, I skipped a chapter in biology, and she asked me, when are we gonna do chapter 17? And I was like, oh, we're gonna do it at the end of the year when we do chapters 51 and 52. And you're like, okay, well, I've got them all labeled in my binder. So we skipped that one, and I was like, what is that happening? I'm like, we're gonna do it. So yeah, I always had to be at the top of my game with Oregon too. So yeah, congratulations.
All right, hold it. You stand on you.
Okay.
Hold on the other side first.
Well, thank you.